staff. Just to give you all an update, we got a few volunteer events coming up. This Saturday, we're going to be at Grace House in the Fairfield area. I think they have a total of 9 houses around the state. This Saturday, they're expecting up to 15 ladies to be there, from ages of young as 10 years old up to the age of 22 this Saturday. So, definitely thanks to everybody who brought in additional supplies. About a month ago, when I was volunteering out at Central Park, they had a lot of leftover supplies, and they gave me a ton of supplies to take them as well. So, definitely thanks to everybody who brought out extra supplies. So if you're interested in volunteering on Saturday, we're going to be there roughly from 9:30 to 12 p.m. So if you can get there around 9:15, that'll be ideal. The sign-up sheet will be at the membership desk, so please sign up if you're interested. Jump to the next event on next Thursday, and it's more for information because we actually already reached our volunteer maximum count. We're volunteering with Impact Women over at Inslee Park next Thursday. And that's going to last for about an hour to an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours. Just depends on when their parents come pick them up. So we're going to show up at around 5 o'clock next Thursday at Inslee Park. So this is the second time we've come back to Impact Women. So, I look forward to working with them this go around. So, it's good times. The next thing that I want to jump into, and the reason why the focus is on the Birmingham mentoring map. The original name is actually called an asset map, but I was just thinking about how in the world can I promote this, so everybody understand what an asset map is. I think it was last summer. I think it was when we were planning out, or you all were planning out the next steps for the MBK initiatives and programs. And in each one of those meetings that I sit in, it always came up, who's doing what in the city. So a few months later, I reached back out to Cedric Sparks and asked if we could volunteer as Birmingham Urban League Young Professionals to kind of help build this map out. And with that map, for example, somebody reached out to me last night. I think Pamela Wren, is she in the room? Okay, she said she was going to be here today. She's with a program called Beautiful Me. Never heard of it. And then about a month or two ago, I just learned of a program called C4. Some of you probably heard of it. Just about 3 months ago, maybe 4 months ago, was when I first heard of Grace House. So at the end of the day, there are a lot of programs in the city, but a lot of us don't know they exist. Also with that, when we put the post up on Facebook, I actually was reached out to by Marcus Carson with Growing Kings, and they've actually already kind of started creating an asset map or a mentoring map. So I do have volunteer support from Growing Kings to help create this map as well. So with that, want to invite DYS up to just come and speak, talk about DYS and the importance of the map and just anything else you want to share. Okay.
Again, good evening.
Good evening.
Definitely an honor and a pleasure to be here. Good to see so many young professionals in the building. Lets us know that our future leadership is in good hands. Bring you greetings from the City of Birmingham Mayor's Office, Division of Youth Services. William A. Bell Sr. serves as Mayor, and Cedric D. Sparks serves as the Executive Director. My name is Michael Moore. I serve as the Deputy Director at the office. Just kind of a brief history. First, I see a lot of familiar faces. I told Mr. Bristol I have to change my opening because I see some familiar faces that actually do know about the Division of Youth Services. By a show of hands, how many of you heard of the Division of Youth Services? Don't raise your hand. Since we going through that part. Well, our office is, I guess, relatively young. We were created in 1992. At that time, there were a lot of different issues and ills that plagued the city of Birmingham: teenage pregnancy, gang violence, drug and alcohol abuse. And so the mayor at that time, Mayor Arrington, created a commission to try to address those ills. Thus, the Division of Youth Services were created. It's a division because departments have to be legislated. So we're a direct extension of the mayor's office. Of course, we service all council districts, but we're a direct extension of the mayor's office. Kind of fast forwarding Over the next 10 years, a lot happened. One, we were kind of suffering from an identity crisis. Although the office was created to address those ills, we really wasn't getting the biggest bang for our buck. You know, we had a jobs program, which many of you probably have heard, our Kids in Jobs program. Then we had a holiday giveaway campaign. And then we did some mentoring. I saw one familiar face back in the back, Gilberto Harado. He wants to know how I know him. We did a Senior Unity Fest, which is perfect segue for the event that happened. How many of you from Birmingham? Show of hands. So if you're from Birmingham, you went to high school in Birmingham?
Yes.
So the Friday before spring break is what? Senior Skip Day. It's usually Senior Skip Day. So around that time, a girl by the name of April James was tragically killed attending the senior skip day. And at that time was a cry to do something. We had our first Senior Unity Fest, and Mr. Superlative back here won all of everything. We had a real good time with Gilberto Harado. That's what we called him. And so fast forward, in 2002, some of those same ills plagued the city. And Bernard Kincaid at the time again created a task force to address those ills. At that same time, during that period, Cedric Sparks became the executive director. And what he did was travel the country to find replicable models to bring back to Birmingham to try to replicate those services, to try to help our young people. In those travels and meetings, thus we had our four-pronged approach. You have the brochure. If you open that up, there's a four-pronged approach, and then there are 8 key areas. We do the 8 key areas to try to service the young person holistically, okay? And then those 4 prongs, first a clearinghouse of information, which is going to be a segue into what Mr. Bristol is going to talk about and Ms. Lumpkin is going to talk about with our asset mapping. But a clearinghouse of information, just like Mr. Wright said, there are a lot of organizations out there that provide services, but people just don't know about it. We try to serve as that umbrella overseer for youth-related organizations. So a one-stop shop. If you have information, we try to get you out. We do an olive branch initiative that's really non-territorial and non-threatening to try to get the word about other organizations. Secondly, youth participation and inclusion. How many times have we had events for young folks? It's a job fair, a fun fest, a dance party, and everything rolled up into one, but no young people come. We try to create a process where young folks can have a decision on the front end of their decision-making process. So that's youth participation and inclusion. Thirdly, creative collaborative partnerships. Programs like our partnerships like our Kids in Jobs program that we do, among others. There are hundreds that we do. That falls under prong 3. And then prong 4, on an as-needed basis, we assist our internal audit division to do contract compliance. So organizations that receive funds from the city, say they're going to get money to do stuff for young folks, we make sure that they do about doing contract compliance. And so that's kind of DYS and who we are and what we do in a nutshell. But prong 1, that clearinghouse of information, making sure that we have, first of all, viable and vibrant organizations that are out there providing services for young folk. The asset map and some other organizations that we have kind of tie into that first prong. So I'll bring up Mr. Danny Brister, our Deputy Operations Administrator.
Thank you, Mike. Good evening.
Good evening.
So how many of you all are familiar with My Brother's Keeper? Okay, a few of you all are familiar with it. So Brian mentioned how asset mapping, or as he's calling now, mentor mapping, came to be. I want to give you guys a brief overview of MBK, what the city's work has been, what we've been doing a little bit at the Division of Youth Services, and Alicia will follow that up, telling you guys more about what that asset mapping is, and also something else that came out of, an alliance that came out of those meetings that we had for My Brother's Keeper. So the My Brother's Keeper initiative, for you all that do not know, was started by the White House, by President Barack Obama, and it was started in February of 2014. In September of 2014, he started MBK Communities, where a community, a tribal nation, a county could sign up and be a champion of the My Brother's Keeper initiative that focuses on providing opportunities for boys and young men of color, which focuses on 6 milestones. And those milestones are every kid entering school ready to learn, every kid reading a grade level by 3rd grade, successfully finishing high school, ready for college and career. The 4th milestone is successfully successfully completing college or post-secondary education, successfully entering the workforce, and providing a second chance for at-risk youth. And we believe that that was something that we truly championed as a city. So in September 2014, the mayor signed on for Birmingham to be a MBK community. And part of that challenge for cities was to host a local action summit with stakeholders that really cared about that demographic, boys and young men of color. So we put together that action summit and focused on four areas: civic engagement, employment, education, and justice. Thank you. So focusing, and one thing that came out of that summit was asset mapping. That was something that everybody believed we needed to do. We needed to know what was going on and who was doing it. And Alicia will explain that a little bit later. So what have we been doing as a community with My Brother's Keeper? That seems to be the big question. That September 2014 is September 2016, so that was 2 years ago. So I'm going to give you guys a brief update of what the city has been doing to move this conversation forward. So we get asked the question a lot, like, where is MBK? Like, how can I get my kid involved with MBK? How can I work alongside MBK? Well, MBK is not so much a place that you go to and you can physically touch. It's more of a mindset shift and change. So part of that becoming a MBK community was that the mayor, the leader of that community, whoever signed on, would say, you know what, we're going to do something that affects and changes policy so that we can better reach this demographic. And so that's what we've been working on doing. We've been working with Bloomberg Associates over the last 2 years, putting together a Birmingham plan for My Brother's Keeper. And that plan actually has just been finalized this week. So it's been a 2-year process. And like, well, what would make it be 2 years? Well, you have to go and you look at four key indicators, which is justice, employment, education, and health. And you get data and statistics based off how those young people are doing in those 4 areas. And you put together a strategic plan on how your city plans to better reach and do those milestones in those 4 areas. It's a lot of work, a lot of data, a lot of meetings, but we finally put together a plan, and that plan was actually approved this week by the mayor. So we're off and rolling on that, and there'll be a lot of good things that comes from that, and we will eventually be able to say this is MBK, and you can go to a place, but it still will be that mindset shift of getting everybody on board of how can we move our young people forward so that we're reaching these milestones. Alicia?
All right, thank you, Danny.
Yay.
Again, I'm Alicia Lumpkin, and I serve as the operations manager. And so I'm going to talk to you tonight about why asset mapping. But before I go deep into it, I want to pose a little question to you. Our executive director often gives this scenario when he speaks, and so I'm going to give it to you all. How many of you all believe that if a tree falls in the forest, that it makes sound? Raise your hand if you believe that it does. It does. How many of you believe that it doesn't? Raise your hand. All right. His theory and his approach was sound isn't sound until it's heard. And so if you take the mindset of a lot of these youth and grassroots organizations have programs, they have initiatives, they're doing the work. However, to us, they don't exist because we don't know about them. And so our job with this asset mapping piece is to make sure that we get all of the youth service providers around the table so we can create a synergy for Birmingham's youth. You know, it's nothing like getting around the table and sharing the goods and the bads of what we've done and helping others to cross the bridges that we've crossed. And so asset mapping will, one, do that for us. Also, it will identify strengths and weaknesses that youth service providers may have, along with not only offering them a place to convene, which Birmingham Alliance for Youth will do, which is what we're currently doing right now. That organization, as Danny mentioned before, came as a direct suggestion from the meetings that we were having. You know, youth service providers got around in those meetings and groups said, we need a place where we can convene and that we could talk about things that we're experiencing to hopefully help the next person or the next organization. And so that's how BAY came into existence, as a direct suggestion from those meetings that we were having. But BAY gives youth service providers an opportunity to sit around and talk about the things that affect them as youth service providers. Also, by bringing everybody around the table, it helps us to identify their strengths, their weaknesses. Also, it helps us to pair them up to get better opportunities. one thing that we're proud of that we do with Bay is not only expose them to what all is going on in the city of Birmingham for providers, but it also allows us to kind of link up. I'll give you an example. Maybe about 2 years ago, we had 2 organizations in the city of Birmingham, both doing acting camps. I'm doing my acting camp over here, and another group was doing their acting camp over there. And so we acted as a convener and kind of put them together and connected the dots because they were doing the same thing. And when they were able to combine their resources, they had a great summer, a great turnout, and were able to offer some young people some services that many hadn't been exposed to. And so that's what Bay and this asset mapping piece is going to help us to do. It's going to help us to bring people to the table, combine our resources, also expose them to other things that they may not receive, like it'll be opportunities for grants, there'll be opportunities for them to team up, and we'll be able to see visions that we have not even looked at or go down avenues that we haven't thought about before. So the next point is, what's next? The next piece is that we need you. There's no way that we can do all of this by ourselves. And so Brian has been attending the meetings, and he has, asked if you all could join the efforts, and we need you. We need you to help us identify these organizations and help us to see what they're doing and help bring them to the table so we can all make a difference and a change for the city of Birmingham. So at the end of the night, Brian has a solid plan. He has a solid brand, and we've talked to him about it. So if you all would just get with him, reach out to him, and sign up, we'll be happy to have you on board. Also, if you want more information about just even joining Bay or coming to be around the table to see what exactly exists and what's going on, our contact number is on here. You look for volunteer opportunities. Danny is our volunteer coordinator at the office. He's also the coordinator for Bay, and our MBK coordinator. So he wears a lot of hats. He wears a lot of hats at our office. But our contact information is here. If you can't reach Danny, Mike and I are also available to help out. So I'll leave it back up to Mike. And please, if you have time, we would absolutely appreciate your resources and your talent.
Thank you, Alicia. I guess we can open the floor for questions if you have it. Again, even beyond nonprofits and organizations, if you just have children or nephews and nieces that need to be engaged and involved, definitely link up with our office. You can become a part, what we call become a part of the clique, and find out information that's going on throughout the city, not just with us. And the events that you all are doing, like the volunteer efforts that you're doing, let us know. We send an e-lease out every Monday. And so you can send us that so we can let folks know what the Urban League is doing. So, but any questions though? Any questions?
We know we gave y'all a lot in a little bit of time.
Just start over.
So 1992.
No, I do have a question though.
Okay.
You got a great memory, by the way. That was a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Out of all of the initiatives that you guys have, where do you see the, I guess, the biggest need?
That's why we had 8 key areas, honestly. And I think, especially in our office, it's about what your passion is. Of course, we all have a passion to kind of see our young people move forward. Mr. Clifford right here, and his son was a part of mentoring the 100 women out, a part of 100 Black Men, and so he kind of kept me informed of how his son was doing throughout the years, and now he's at UAB. But it's really about your passion. You know, you look at cultural arts. You know, the person that's over cultural arts, they're really focused on trying to expose our young folks to some new and exciting things outside of just maybe going to the movies. You know, it may be, we had a tap dancer, what's his name? Savion Glover come in. And how many times would we be able to take some young folks to see Savion Glover? You know, so it's really about your passion. We do we call our free reality program. Which is kind of a scare straight deal, but we don't try to scare it out of them. We try to love it out of them, give them a dose of reality while it's free. And so that's a big passion of mine and our mentoring coordinator, so we can get our young folks that may be going, we can see them going down that wrong path and try to stop them. So it's really about what your passion. So, I mean, that's why we got the 8 key areas.
There's a need in all.
There's a need in all. There's a need in all. You know, so whatever your passion is, you know, come on and sign up. So to speak. Any other questions?
I have a question. Alicia, when you spoke about the 2 organizations, one that sound department that was conducting the same services, but they really didn't know, so we brought them together. Is that a part of the overall goal for this asset map, to bring like organizations that are doing the same thing together? And how does it work with those people? Because some people wanna, they may be going with this type of demographic over here, so how do you work together, and is that a part of the overall goal?
And our goal is not to recreate the wheel. It's basically to bring together folks on the opposite side to create opportunities. And if we see that you're doing this well over here and you're doing this well over here, we're just creating an avenue for them to talk. It may not be the combining of a program. That's just an example of one that turned out extremely well and that worked. There may be a time where I may be doing this on the west side, I may be doing this on the north side. Let's just exchange ideas. What are you doing right that I can incorporate into what I'm doing over here to make us both successful? So that was a great opportunity. That was a great opportunity and example of that one initiative. However, we're not looking to necessarily to combine. However, we're looking to get out the best practices for each organization to be able to grow in their side of town. Because we know one organization is not realistically going to be able to serve everybody. And so having duplicates is not a bad thing. It's just making sure that we're all operating on the same high standard.
And keep in mind, it worked well, but it wasn't easy.
Right.
You know, it wasn't
Yeah.
easy. That's why we put youth first.
Right.
And so we try to use that youth first tag and motto to try to break down all the territorialism, which goes back to our audit branch initiative. A lot of times we'll go in and, you know, they might not really be willing to work with somebody else because they think you're going to come in on that demographic. But at the end of the day, we say we just want to put young folks first.
And so that was a part of what I asked, you know, even if that's the overall goal, but how did you work? 'Cause I'm sure there were some differences.
You just have to
with
tell
everything
them.
you're trying to change. But
Sometimes you have to find out and tell them, look,
yeah.
this can't be about you. If you say that you're about
Absolutely.
helping young folks, then you need to be about young folks. Sometimes you have to plain just tell them.
We had the hard conversations.
Mhm.
We had them multiple times, but you know, Cedric Sparks doesn't mince words, and so we had the hard conversations. And unfortunately, you see that here in Birmingham sometimes. We kind of hold on to what we got. The bad thing about that is you can hold on and then you can't get anything else. You can hold on so tight that you stop yourself from growing. And so it's just changing mindset, and we do it one conversation at a time, one meeting at a time. And so it's going to take time to get there, but it is doable.
Thank you.
Questions? Anyone? Thank the Briggs for coming this past weekend. A couple weeks ago.
Is there a turnaround time to have the asset map completed?
Brian? We do understand it's gonna take time, but
Right.
Brian?
There's not an exact turnaround time. It's based on how many volunteers I get, or how many volunteers we get. If we're able to get up to 20 volunteers, that means those 20 volunteers will either go to 7 websites or call 7 companies or organizations, or 7 to 10, and within a week, they can probably do that. But if there's only 2 or 3 of us, then we gotta go through a list of 200 plus organizations, and it's gonna take a whole lot longer. For example, when they sent over the list of their current database, there's over 400 organizations on that database. Over 200 of them, I think, are churches. So there are 172, 175 that were listed as youth service providers. So that's where I said that's where we need to start. You know, so the more people we get to volunteer, you know, it can be very fast. It can be 2 weeks, or it can be a month, or it can be longer. So, you know, if you're willing to volunteer just a few minutes of your time over the next few weeks, you know, please sign up before you leave today. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to send you an email. I'm going to give you a list of the 5 to 10 organizations for you to either go to their website, go to their Facebook page, contact them, and just get that general information about the organization. You know, what age group are they focusing on? Are they just doing tutoring programs? Or are they an athletics program? What do they do? And are they on the east side? Or are they on the north side? What's their zip code? You know, so, you know, we need to know who's doing what. You know, there's a lot of people, I've been reached out to by a lot of people, pulled them in a bunch of different directions, and I know I'm only one person. But there's a lot of organizations out there doing a lot of grassroots work. So I also want to highlight those people too. They might not have a 501c3, but if they are doing consistent programs and they're meeting on a regular basis, I want them to be listed. And eventually, I hope this is a public document, You know, maybe not all the detail, maybe not the email addresses, maybe not the cell phone numbers, but I want it to be public so people know who's out there and who does what. So, you know, that's part of it. And so with that, you know, just please sign up at the end of the meeting if you're interested. If you know anybody else that may be interested that's not here, you know, please have them to reach out to me.
And Brian, I would like to say this too. I'm sure once you get the list, you're going to see a lot of the organizations are very familiar to you anyway. So some of them, you know what they're doing, just like you're going to do voluntary effort with some of the groups that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. Their name is probably on this list, and you can go ahead and check them out. You know their contact person, contact information that they're doing good work. So it'll be a lot easier.
And one more interjection. Like Brian said, these grassroots organizations are the ones we really want. Because if we get them on board and we get them coming to our Bay meetings, our goal is to expose them to information that can help them potentially get that 501c3 to grow their organization. You know, our goal is to expose them to what other resources out there that they may just have no clue about. So he's absolutely right. We need those grassroots organizations that you may not see riding down the street or you may not hear a lot about, but they're out there doing the work.
And I know we bouncing back and forth, we keep going back, but I want to make sure you're equipped. You're young professionals. A lot of these grassroots organizations may have been here for a while. And so you really have to extend that olive branch to make sure that it's a non-threatening kind of ask. You know, I know you're just asking for information, but it can be perceived and them like, they're trying to take the Urban League. I know about the Urban League and them. They're trying to take this over. It's not that. We just want to make sure that we have the information correct. So keep that in your mindset when you're calling. Not to scare you, but just keep that in your mindset in terms of how you present it. Those are kind of some of the things we had to, even as the city, some of the woes we had to go through initially. Early on, we first came up with the whole four-pronged approach in 8 key areas, calling these organizations, and you get that, but just kind of keep that in your mindset. Okay.
Any other questions? And then we'll go to the next area. I think we're good. You know, so definitely, I thank you all for coming out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This was one of my first times getting a chance to see Alicia, you know, get up and speak. I should have talked about her while she was there because we serve on the youth center board together. I'm the chair and she's the co-chair. So it was good to, you know, get to finally see that. So it's a wonderful thing. With that, you know, we're going to jump to the next section. And the next section is, you know, the candidate introductions. You know, Cliff will lead this area. But, you know, just before we jump into that, I just want to make some comments. You know, for those who are interested in being an officer, joining the position, you know, it's a commitment. You know, so be aware of that commitment. You know, if you sign up for the year, sign up for the year. You know, commit all the way through. You're going to be frustrated, you know, in any organization, but, you know, commit all the way through. It's very important. It's also very important that you bring your new ideas. A lot of times we'll wait 3 or 4 months in before we start, you know, submitting our own ideas. So, you know, don't wait at the very beginning, you know, don't wait. You know, we're all professionals. We're all young professionals. We may even be upper level management, mid-level management, wherever we are. So come in, bring all your ideas, whatever city you lived in, whatever college you went to, whatever organization you've been a part of, you know, bring those ideas to the table. You know, we need new ideas, you know, so just want to share that, you know, so, you know, I'll turn it over to Cliff to go over this area.
Greetings, everybody. Just to sort of start off, as your nominations chair, I'm very excited that the organization, we have 10 very qualified candidates running for elected office. So I really thank those persons who participated in the process, those who provided nominations. Nominations closed on September 7th, so it was really robust. I want to thank our PR chair, Brother Sigler, who advertised that on social media, and I think that's what sort of promoted it and increased the awareness that we were having nominations. So again, thank you for participating. Let's see, we are currently working on a bio page. So we're going to send that out by email to all of the paid members, and you will get to see you know, their photos and read their bios and know exactly who's running for office. And that should be out there very soon. We're actually proofing that document tonight and tomorrow. Any questions? Does anybody have any questions about the nominations process, or did everybody get a chance to nominate that wanted to? I hope so. We're gonna start with the office of parliamentarian, and then we'll work our way up. President will be last. So I'll go ahead and jump right in. We have one candidate for the parliamentarian position. Her name is Tamika Pryor. Tamika. Look at you.
Greetings, Urban League Young Professionals. My name is Tamika Pryor. I've been a member of Urban League Young Professionals for about 2 years. Today I'm seeking the position of parliamentarian, and I guess I want to ask, does anybody even know what a parliamentarian does? We do. Okay, so the parliamentarian is the person who is in charge of just making sure that the meetings go in an orderly fashion. So there are 3 things that qualify me for this position. The first thing is I am familiar with the Roberts Rules of Order. And that's just like a set of rules that or rules or guidelines that tell you how meetings should be run. So I guess if you've been to Urban League meetings, you've already seen that. You've seen some of the things demonstrated today. Like when you first came in, you probably signed in, and usually you would get a itinerary just to let you know how the meeting's gonna go. And then you may start off with President call the meeting to order. Then we sometimes start off with old business and new business. So those are some of the basic things that are in the Robert Rules of Order. So I'm familiar with that. The second I have been to a lot of meetings. Some of the meetings were good meetings, and some of the meetings were not so good. And the reason is because it wasn't really a set agenda. They didn't really stay on task. So just being able to see the good meetings and the bad meetings, I know how a good meeting should be run. And the last thing that qualifies me for the position is I feel like I'm very detail oriented. I worked in banking, as I said, and I'm an accountant by trade. So being an accountant, I have to be very detail oriented. So I think all 3 of those things will help me in the position, and that's about it.
Thank you very much. At this time, we will move to candidates for the position of treasurer. We'll start with Mr. Gilberto Herrera.
Put me on the spot.
How's everyone doing today? Can we wake up a little bit? How's everyone doing today?
Good.
Kimberly. First and foremost, can I get everyone to say I am empowered?
I
am empowered.
Can I get it a little louder?
I am empowered.
Awesome, because that's what the Urban League is here for, not only to empower us, but mainly the people that go through our GED programs, the people that go through our housing program, our staff. Those are the people that really benefit the most from everything that we do. I'm here today standing in front of you asking for your vote as the 2017 treasurer. I've been a member of the Urban League since 2011. My guy from the Department of Youth Services can attest to this. When he first met me, I was very popular, but not for the right reasons. The reason I made the transition partly was because of the Urban League, because of people like William Barnes and LaDon. Ever since I've been a member, I have been active either on the board or head of a chair. You know, coincidentally, all of them have either been dealing with finance, so fundraising and treasury. I've swapped back and forth between those for 5 years. The reason I'm qualified for this position, just like my friend just came up here, I have 5 years of banking experience. But not only that, right now I work with businesses such as The Hyatt, Golden Flake. I work with some of your local law firms, and my goal is to help them be solvent by putting their message in front of the right people. As a treasurer, I'm going to ensure that the funds are being spent properly and that we are continuously and consistently being solvent. Again, I ask for your vote as 2017 treasurer.
Your incumbent treasurer, Mr. Prince Cleveland, could not be here tonight due to a work obligation, but he did provide a statement. And I'll read that statement at this time. Fellow YPs, I am asking for your vote as treasurer for the Birmingham Urban League Young Professionals 2017 treasurer. I hit the ground running ever since I first became a member in 2012. Since that time, I've served as a recording secretary for 3 terms, and I am your current treasurer. My commitment to BULYP has not wavered over the years. I am just committed now as I was when I walked through the doors nearly 5 years ago. I feel we have accomplished much together as one empowered unit, but our work is not done yet. I feel there is still much more to accomplish to continue moving BULYP forward, and we can continue to do it together. I humbly ask for your vote to continue as a trusted steward of our treasury and to ensure stability to support our worthwhile programs of the Birmingham Urban League. Please vote Prince Cleveland, your 2017 BULYP treasurer. That is a statement from Mr. Prince Cleveland. Thank you. At this time, we're going to move to corresponding secretary candidates. We have one, Ms. Alexia Patterson.
I'm Alexia Patterson, and I am running for corresponding secretary. I am a new member, recently about 2 months, but I have been volunteering with the Urban League since January. So I really kind of hit the ground running as well. I really liked what the Urban League was doing. I'm a post-grad, recently graduated from the University of Alabama in theater and public relations. And so I've been using my PR degree by helping out with the Community Service Committee. And I did some graphic design for them, and my recent one was a poster for Grace House. I don't know if it was on Facebook or not.
It was.
Purple, so I designed that, and so I believe that that would really help me with correspondence secretary by making flyers really fun and using different tools for email marketing as well, because in public relations you learn about your different, you have your in-house and your out-house, and so that sounds really weird, but your internal and external, and so keeping an internal communication strong is really what builds an organization. And so I believe that I could really help Urban League by keeping its members informed and also help telling other people about Urban League so that they could find out, because we also have people who aren't members here today, and we should double that. So my name is Alexia Patterson, and I am running for corresponding secretary. Thank you.
Very good, thank you. We're going to move now to the position of recording secretary. We have 2 candidates. I'll call Ms. Tamara Wilson as our first candidate. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Tamara Wilson, and I am running for the position of recording secretary. I began my journey with the YPs in February of this year, so I'm relatively new. Since I joined the organization, I participated in the committees of advocacy as well as community service, and I am enjoying my journey with both committees very thoroughly. Biggest event that I really tested my mettle was the STEAM event that we hosted with Lawson State Community College, in which we engaged a lot of the local youth in the areas of the science, technology, engineering, math, and science. And so that was a opening for me. And so I wanted to grow more within the organization, and I felt that the position of recording secretary is will be a great start for me to continue to grow. Within the Community Service Committee, I do sort of act as a secretary in which I take the minutes of the notes of the meetings, and so you all can have insight of the different events that will be happening within that committee. And so I would like to promote that for the entire organization as a whole. So I would love your vote for recording secretary for this term. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next candidate for recording secretary is Ms. Kimberly Drake.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Kimberly Drake. I work at the Small Business Administration. I am a loan servicing assistant, and I joined BULYP in 2012. And shortly after joining, I became the membership chair. And after that, and now I'm the corresponding secretary, so I've been the corresponding secretary for 3 years now. And so that's how you all get your flyers and your newsletters. And right now, I wanted to expand my role, take on something different as recording secretary. And I take great notes. I am a great listener, and that's what I do all day at work. I listen. I take notes. But since I've been here, I've volunteered, gotten community service hours, and exposed my little girl to volunteering. So that has really, helped my family a lot. And I've met new friends, formed different relationships, and I would like your vote as recording secretary. And I'm Kimberly Drake. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving to the position of vice president, we have 2 candidates. Our first candidate on the slate is Ms. Miracle Reese. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I will walk and talk because I can't sit still. My name is Miracle Reese, and I am proud to be here. It's a great opportunity to have joined Urban League, one of the best decisions that I could have made in my life. I'll start by saying that I believe that as a people that we can come together and help build on a branch that's already here. I believe that we can stack up platforms to make sure that our community does not deteriorate, and that we come together to realize that we are a brother's keeper. I believe, and my new motto for this year is do all things in love and realize that life is really happening. One way that I think that I can serve as your vice president is to help with the health initiative. I wear these gym clothes on purpose today because it is not out of character for me to advocate for health care. My background comes from nursing. As a nurse in all areas of life, I am continually thinking about what is my next step to make sure that people are living, that they have vitality, and that they know how to feed themselves in a way that's going to provide them for their future. I'm very new to Urban League, but it has set fire in me to make sure that my community grows, to make sure that people know who we are, to make sure that we feed our generation and leave legacy. If you are looking for a miracle, you found it in me. But Miracle Reese is your vice president.
Okay, at this time we'll have our other candidate for vice president, Ms. Tanika Huffman. Thank you.
Good evening, Urban Leaguers.
Good evening.
Good evening, Urban Leaguers.
Good evening.
My name is Tanika Huffman. I am a resident here in Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised. I am currently a compliance officer for a bank here in Birmingham, Alabama. I am a compliance officer that deals with Community Reinvestment Act, CRA, and what that does, make sure that our banking institutions are serving in the community in which they service, and which is a very important thing. We're held to a very high standard. If we're going to be positioned in a certain community, we have to make sure that we're providing those services for those communities, which caters to low to moderate income people. I am humbly asking for your vote as the 2017 Vice President, because in a sincere voice, want to be an example of what the Urban League can be for you if you dedicate what you have for the Urban League as a whole. I came to the Urban League in February of 2015. I was invited by someone who had been here a very, very, very long time. And so once I actually came, that's Mr. Gilberto Herrera. Once I finally came, I came to a meeting. I'm a server by heart. Serving is my number one thing. And so when I came to the meeting, I liked what the Urban League did. They serve, I'm willing to serve, let's serve together. So from then, I've been here every day, hitting the ground running, servicing the community, servicing the people here, servicing the Urban League as a whole. My motto is support and serve. If I'm supporting what the Urban League does, then I'm supporting you. If I'm the Urban League, I'm supporting you, then I'm supporting the community that we serve. So I'm just humbly asking you for your vote for the Vice Presidency of the Birmingham Urban League Young Professionals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we're moving to our final position for tonight, and it's the position of president. We have two candidates. At this time, we will call Ms. Shay Mitchell.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Shay Mitchell, and I am the 2016 membership chair. I've been a member since 2013, and I decided to join the Urban League because I wanted to give back to the community without having to find organizations to volunteer for, for or with on my own. So since my time here, I've noticed that there's some areas that we need a little improvement. So watching, I've decided that, I can be a change member, and I accepted or change agent, so I accepted the nomination for presidency. If elected as your 2017 president, there are several things that I would like to focus on changing, but we only have 2 minutes, so I'm only gonna touch bases on 3 of them, and that's membership involvement, community service, and our relationship with the Birmingham Urban League itself. The first thing I would like to do is set up a open dialogue for our members and our executive leadership team. I believe that membership involvement and communication with one another is very, very important, and it plays a huge role in where we're going to be in the next 5 to 10 years as an organization. My goal is to ensure that all of our members have the opportunity to participate in the decisions that are being made in regards to the organization. The last 2 items I'm going to mention, they kind of coincide with each other, and that is our visibility within the community. We need to make sure that we're visible, possibly through doing our service events, and we can do that by setting our goals, or setting goals for the amount of volunteer hours we would like to achieve as an organization, and promoting and assisting the programs that already exist here at the Urban League, which is our GED programs, financial literacy classes, and housing counseling. I will build a stronger relationship with the program directors here at the Urban League to target my peers can be an asset to the organization, because overall our goal and our mission is to support the efforts of the Birmingham Urban League. So I know my time is up, so I'm going to close by thanking you all for coming out tonight. And if you need to renew your membership, our website is currently down, so see me on your way out, or you can email me at membership@bulyp.org to renew your membership or to get information about becoming a new member. And also, don't forget to vote for me in October for president. So, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving to the end. Now we have our final candidate for the position of the 2017 BULYP president, our current chapter president, Mr. Kamante King. Thank you.
Greetings. Thank you, first of all, for having the opportunity to serve as 2016 president. It was an honor and a privilege. I enjoyed what I did. My spiel, or my 2 minutes of fame, will probably be a little different, simply because I'm running for re-election. So my spiel is kind of going to be where we started, where we are now, and where we plan to be this time next year, if I have the opportunity to serve you all as a president in 2017. So I became a member in 2011. Seemed like that was a popular year for some reason. A lot of us came around. I got involved. I came into that year, got involved the following year as a co-chair for the Economic Empowerment co-chair. 2012, 2014 became a chair of Treasury. 2015 Fund Development Chair, fundraising, and then of course 2016 I had an opportunity to serve. So kind of a little twist under my leadership in 2016, I feel like the Urban League has made a lot of progression. We have created partnerships with local organizations such as AL.com, the Birmingham Times, as you all know, they repeatedly put us on the front page. That was something that we had an opportunity to broker as a partnership. Also, we were recognized in May from the SCLC, making a difference in the community, which, like Shay spoke about and the rest, you know, is important that we're visible in the community serving. Also, the NAACP awarded us in June for the Distinguished Organization, which I'm very proud of and had the opportunity to lead those efforts. I've negotiated a national sponsorship with Altria for the ones who had an opportunity to attend the YP Weekend and Rooftop event that was solely sponsored by Altria companies, which you all may know as Philip Morris, a tobacco company. Exceeded the affiliate, like Shay mentioned, and others, our goal is to serve the affiliates from a financial standpoint as well as getting out, bringing awareness. Annually, the affiliate offers or extends a goal for us to raise financially, which this year they doubled. It was $10,000, and not only did we meet it, but we exceeded that goal as of July. So I feel honored for that, that we had a chance to do that. From a membership standpoint, we've increased membership by 175%. So when we started June 1 of this year, we had 45 members. Right now we have over 80 members, financial paid members. So that's great. Also, from a sponsorship, we talk about what the affiliate has to do with each other 5 areas, which is coaching, graduating coaches, workforce development, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, financial literacy, and also housing. So I had an opportunity to broker a partnership or sponsorship for my employer, Bancorp South, that donated tens of thousands of dollars to actually put on the housing conference that we had at the Civic Center. So, but as far as moving forward, if I get an opportunity to be elected for 2017, some things that we've already kind of started working on moving forward, because as you know, you don't start trying to set a foundation when you get to the site. You start ahead of time. So right now we're already working to aggressively come up with a solid budget for 2017 year for the Birmingham YPs. So therefore we can eliminate trying to create money and go and ask. We will actually have a budget already in place where we can spend money as we see needed. Also to continue to shift, I know I'm running out of time, from the national level. A lot of things are changing from national. I had an opportunity to attend the Urban League Conference as well as LPC, the Legislative Policy Conference. We'll be going to Whitney M. Young Jr. Those are the conferences where you are involved with the nationals, and you also get to see how other organizations, other chapters are ran. So, in closing, what I felt that we need to do is also gather some of that information that I've learned from national, some of the things that we already started working on to better the Urban League in 2017. And if I'm elected, hopefully one of my first goals is to continue expanding. We've been approached by Huntsville to actually expand the YPs up far north as Huntsville, with the goal to expand as far south as Mobile. So that's an interest meeting I will be attending. And also, I've helped work with bringing the GIL back to Birmingham. So for you all that don't know what the GIL is, when you get 45 and you age out, the GIL is the next step. So that's something that we'll have. So I want to look forward to continuing what I've started in 2016. So with your blessings and your support, I have that opportunity as the 2017 president. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At that time, that concludes our candidate forum. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, I'm back again. I don't have a program. Somebody took it.
It's over here. I don't have it.
All right.
It's at the executive.
I'm sorry. So first and foremost, just kind of piggyback off of what Brian was saying, which is very instrumental. Oftentimes we, you know, as members, because I've said it, trust me, I've sat in that seat a lot more than I've sat up in front of people and spoke. It's very important that you know, we want members, and you heard that continuously, members to feel like they've been heard, they want to voice their opinion. The best way, and the way that it's set up for you all to do that as a member is to join committees. So typically how that works is, and Miracle touched on it a little bit. You join committees, you know, hey, I think we should do this, I know this person, let's put this together, and that committee chair presents it to the executive leadership team. And at that point, that's where, you know, if we can do it, we fund it, or how it works. But the seed is planted in the chair. You know, I can stand up here, no matter who it is, as the president. We can only go as far as the members are allowed to take us. Because the membership, that's where the hard work is done. You know, the executive leadership team, your chairs, we can get together every day and plan something, put it in place, but if we don't have the bodies to perform, it doesn't matter. So, whether you know it or not, your membership or your members actually play a more important and vital role than the actual leadership team, because that's where the work is done, all right? So keep that in mind. Even once we get through elections, we still will, you will have opportunities to fill chair positions. That's something we'll kind of get in, probably I guess around November, December. The new leadership, you will work with them. We'll know who that is this time next month. So if you're interested, and if you don't want to join it, I mean, be a chair of a committee or a co-chair, that's fine. But just find your place, whatever that is. Whether it's advocacy, whether it's financial, fund development, it doesn't matter. You know, whatever you want to bring to the table, I'm telling you, it's a committee to do that. All right. Moving on down to, and thank you, Chair Cliff, for doing. He did a great job on those nominations.
The date for the October meeting.
Okay, the date for the October meeting is October the 26th.
No.
I mean 20th.
Yes.
All right. Don't put that on TV. So basically, we have elections. So you will get all our members will receive a candidacy packet in your email with everyone's bio, what kind of what they bring to the table as well as pictures. And once you receive that, we will shortly thereafter start our online voting. And basically how that will work, you will reach out to, we encourage you to come to the actual meeting to vote. But we do know sometimes it's not possible. But you will email nominations@bullyp.org, and you will get a code and an email along with your nomination form, and you will complete it electronically and submit it back. All right, so that's how the process works. What will happen when we have our October general body meeting? Counts will be tallied, votes in-house will be counted, and we will say or spill the beans on who's the executive committee going into 2017 election year. So just like any other election, the majority wins. Unless it's a tie, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we voted like 22 times for vice president for some odd reason, until the tie was broken, but hopefully it's not a tie. But you'll get to see who the new leadership team is. So that's pretty much how it works. Announcements. On September 27th, we are partnering with the Birmingham Civil Rights Institution to do the State of Black America.
22nd?
22nd. I'm sorry, September 22nd. Unless my numbers date wrong. But so basically what the State of Black America is something that the Urban League does on a national scale for the ones that had an opportunity to go to conference in the past. We do that here at the local level. Where we'll just release the economic impact as it relates to minorities in urban areas. So that will be at the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute at 6 o'clock. Of course, all of these, I'm wrong? No, go ahead and correct me, because I'm...
Yes, about the Birmingham Civil Rights Institute, we are still working to confirm that date. So it's actually going to be pushed out into another date. We're having to work with them.
I didn't read my emails, huh? Yep, that's a mistake on my part. All right, moving along. Yeah, well.
I just received that like today.
Oh, you ain't telling. All right, talked about it. On October 26th, the sponsorship that I mentioned or spoke about, Altria, we will actually have a event Wednesday, October 26th, and it will take place at the Summit Club. It starts at 5:30. We will have adult beverages there. Also, we will have hors d'oeuvres. It is free. It is a leadership conference that Altria is sponsoring. It will, not only that, they're sponsoring that, but they are also sponsoring a predetermined amount of individuals to get a free ticket to the Taste of Soul. So if you hadn't heard about the Taste of Soul, the Birmingham Urban League is sponsoring an event on that Thursday, the next day, right? At Uptown. We're basically blocking off the entire Uptown. We're gonna have a Taste of Soul event going on for 3 days. We also will have 2 major artists that will be performing. Everyone is eligible except for the executive leadership team. Everyone else, if you register, attend, and be there for the conference, you will get your ticket when it concludes. The actual leadership summit, which will be about an hour. So our trio will it's a panel, and also they will sponsor a predetermined amount of individuals. So we'll get that flyer and information out as soon as Market Line gets everything. So just be on the lookout for that. So if you plan on coming, do not buy your ticket because they will be sponsoring you a ticket. Now you do have to be there on time and sit there during the conference to get it. Don't show up at 5 minutes till the conference over and get a ticket. We're not gonna work it that way. So like I mentioned, we'll advertise it. We'll have a link where you can pre-register, but you have to be there to get your Taste of Soul ticket. Yes, sir.
Exactly what are we going to be talking about in
the Leadership Summit? The Leadership Summit, so that's a great question. So the topic around the Leadership Summit is we're going to take a little different twist on it than we did a couple months ago at the YP weekend. So basically, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be focusing on leadership from a career standpoint, and it's going to put you in the mind of what I like to call a shift, and that's what the Nationals are doing. So basically, when you're gravitating from one point of your life to the next, but it doesn't matter if you fresh out of college trying to get a job, you're mid-level, or you're SVP, leadership skills and characteristics you always need. So that will be the focus of the actual Leadership Summit. It is Wednesday, October 26th. And so basically we're going to use that as a pre-jump off for our Taste of Soul event, which will be the following day at Uptown. Like I mentioned, if you all had an opportunity to come to Taste of Soul last year, we had it in front of
4th Avenue.
Yeah, on 4th, and we just had that block, in front of Dirty Ashes. But I'm not gonna spill the beans on the headline artist. I'll just let you all see the flyer. But trust me, you'll enjoy.
Who's the artist last year? Was it Carl Thomas?
Carl Thomas was the artist last year. So we got 2 artists this year. So, and if anybody want to be a vendor, know somebody want to be a vendor, got a food truck, you name it, you can go ahead and register and come out there, and then they can take place or be a part of it. Any other comments? Because it's hot.
Election watch party.
Oh, I'm sorry. Last thing. I'm glad you. Oh, I actually got 2 things. Let me go over this real fast. The Birmingham Urban League will have a first-time home buyer seminar. It will be Saturday, October 22nd from 9 till 3 o'clock here at the Birmingham Urban League. Topics to be discussed includes mortgage qualifications, the legal aspect, ensuring your investments, home inspection, credit scores for our housing, and selecting a home. So basically they do, it started from beginning to end as it relates to purchasing a home. From trying to get inspections and what you're looking for all the way through actually the closing process. And again, that will be Saturday, October 22nd from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. here at the Urban League. And if you need to RSVP or more information, you can contact the Urban League at 326-0162. Kimberly Callens is the director of the housing. All right. And last, the presidential debate. So, as you all know, September 26th, we'll have our first presidential debate between Gilberto homeboy Donald Trump and all our people, Hillary Clinton, right? So we're going to have a watch party. It's going to be Monday night is September 26th. Doors will open around 6 o'clock-ish. It will be at the Vault. He's chairing that. It's important. You got to have members in place. I can't remember all that. It'll be at the Vault. We will have hors d'oeuvres. Your adult beverages is on you. We will have hors d'oeuvres, and of course, it is free to be there. Invite as many people as you can. Again, it's very important that we stay glued to this election process. We see the closer and closer it gets, the dirtier and dirtier the game getting. And we need to make sure we do a lot of all of us in here are weird, but let's bring some other people in, maybe in our community, our friends, or the people we hear at the barbershop saying, I'm not going to vote. Exactly. I like to say my vote don't matter. I always rebuttal with why the other side is working so hard to keep you from voting. So evidently it does matter. So again, make sure everybody in here like our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter, because that's where we keep all of our information going, so you can stay up to date on what we're doing. You got a Snapchat yet, Mark?
Now, do y'all really want a Snapchat? Because I'll do it. You know, I just like playing with this stuff now. I be snapping at Von Mars. This is my snap at Von Mars this week.
If there's not any questions, comment, I'm gonna let VP Rice come up, because I'm about to fall out, and he'll close us up from here. Thank you.
All right. Just to remind you, we got up to 5 more spots for volunteers for this Saturday. We didn't want no more than around 15 or so people to be there, and right now we're right at 10 people. So if you're interested in volunteering for Saturday, please sign up. And just a reminder, if you're interested in the mentoring map, please sign up before you leave. You know, definitely thank you for coming out. And that's it.
You all have, and don't forget to vote. It's imperative. But come on, take it. No, I'm just kidding. Have a good day.
All right, meeting is concluded.
Yeah, meeting is adjourned at 6:51 p.m.